He's Tyler Lawler.
Yo!
That is Logan Morris.
Omaha.
In the producer's box, Peggy Lohr. I'm AJ Appeal. This is Race Appeal Radio, episode number 54. Sweet 16 is the title of this week's show. Gentlemen, lady, how are you?
I'm all right. Doing good.
Logan, welcome back after a hard week's work off. You're back in the Clayton compound, or as it looks like, maybe, is that a nice bedroom?
Yes, hanging out here at the Loganity Lounge, but always in the Clayton compound at heart.
Absolutely.
Great to be back. I'm ready for the playoffs, Mr. Appeal. I'm ready. You know this is my favorite track coming up, so you know I'm fired up.
That's right. And Peggy, how you doing?
I'm okay. Wondering where your beard went.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, so it's funny, you just wake up and it all falls off. It's the weirdest thing. We want to say hello to Eric Mullen. He says hey to all of us. We do have a intro feature today, and it is from our good friend Kyle Findley. The start of every great NASCAR race is an invocation, and why not let's do it for Race Appeal Radio as well. He sent us this video this morning, so we're going to play it. It's interesting how you can do a shout out during a prayer, but that being said, he means very well. It's a great segment, and we're proud to have it. This is tonight's Invocation by Kyle Findley, and we'll get right to the show afterwards. Thank you very much.
Good evening to everyone at Race Appeal Radio, to the broadcast team, to the producers, to everyone at the studio who's putting this on, as well as to all the race fans who are listening. I hope this message finds you well. I hope you're having a great Friday afternoon or Friday evening, wherever you are. I hope you're staying safe, and I hope that everything with your family is going well with you, and you're just having a great time in life. Guys, before we get into this show, and I'm sure they got a great one for you, I can't wait to hear all the things that are going to be discussed on this show. My name's Kyle Findley, and I would like to open us up the only way I know how, by starting us off with a word of prayer. So if you're watching, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I just ask that you take a moment, reflect. If you're driving, please keep your eyes open, but just bow your head, show some reverence, whatever works for you, whatever appeals to you. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for everything that you've given to us, everything that you've done for us. And Father, I just come to you tonight to ask your blessing on this entire audience, on everybody involved with this show. Father, be with them, bless them. Lord, in this season of life, with the virus and the pandemic and the way that everything is being affected. And I know we're facing uncertain times now, Father. And I just ask that you keep your healing hand and your guiding hand on each person who is seeing this. Father, just be with them, watch over them, keep your protection over them. And Lord, anybody who's been affected by this virus, Lord, I specifically pray for them. Father, just heal the people who have been affected, heal the families, anyone who knows anyone, I'm sure, that has had this disease. Father, just I ask that each person infected makes a full recovery. And Lord, I pray for our nation as we continue to fight through this, as well as the world, that you would give us guidance and direction, and that we would come out of this as a more well-knit, tight-knit, closer community and family who is trusting you. Lord, be with the people on this show tonight, Father. Give them the words that they need to be saying, Lord. Give them the points that they want to make. Lord, let everything just flow out of them. And Lord, keep your healing and protecting and guiding hand over each person. And Father, just keep us safe. Let us enjoy this show. Let us have a good time. And at the end of it, let us all go home safely and continue to be with our families. Father, it's this all we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you to our good friend Kyle Findley for those kind words. Of course, it's in a time when many people could be in need, and I thought that was something really special that we got to be part of and have him on tonight. That's something I think we may do regularly. You know, at the start of every NASCAR race, they do an invocation, so why not here on Race Appeal Radio? We do have some comments here. Once again, Eric Mullen saying, hey, Eric, how you doing? Thomas Bertram, welcome back. Becoming a longtime listener, Thomas Bertram. He don't leave for nothing. Lawler, which location of Advanced Auto Parts are you currently residing?
I'm out here at 256 in Pickerington. They're actually hiring, so if you're looking for a job and you live in the Pickerington area, Advanced Auto Parts.
Yeah, I hear that they are hiring right now, and of course, Advanced Auto Parts. Click the link below. You will get free shipping on orders $35 or more. We're working on some other coupons as well. You know what else they hooked us up with, Lawler, are these great Die Hard Batteries hats.
Yeah.
We got those as part of our recent event with Kyle Turner. Of course, we've got that great race coming up at the end of September, and I think we're going to have Kyle on one more time to really promo that. Logan Morris, you haven't said much tonight. We went a whole week without you. You were only here for half the episode before. Give me some real Loganity heading into the throwback weekend.
Well, you know, there's nothing I love more than Throwback Weekend. I mean, it just reeks of nostalgia. It reeks of a better time, you know, just a simpler time back when the cars were cars. We didn't bunch everything up, and Kyle Busch didn't complain about passing. Oh, wait. I'm not sure that ever existed. But genuinely, it's great to be back here on Raceville Radio. Hopefully the full episode, one can only hope. Cannot wait to get the playoffs started, and I'm hoping they ring the siren after we do Darlington this Sunday night.
And Lawler's got his hand to his neck. Cutting that off says absolutely not.
No. Chase Elliott, just count him out. He's not going to win it.
And why?
Because it's going to be Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is going to get his win.
I don't know, man. I'm really sticking with it. He's not going to win this year. I can't see it.
Sure, but I'm telling you right now.
To be fair, he is colorblind.
Okay, sure. You and I, Mr. Appeal, have been 7 for 7 between the two of us. We've picked the winner the last 7 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I'm going Kyle Busch. It's going to happen.
Kyle Busch. Maybe not. I see where you're coming from, though. He's definitely due, and if he gets those wins, you know, maybe he can advance in the playoffs. I said at the start of the year, though, Kyle Busch will not win. If you don't believe it, go back to our old episode, but not until after this one.
I'll give you one more thing. 2011, Tony Stewart won the championship. This time in 2011, Tony Stewart had how many wins?
Was 0?
It was 0.
And then he ended up with 5 of the last 10.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm going to throw the Tony Stewart scenario. They both have about the same average finish. Tony was at like 14-2, and Busch is at like 15-1.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, this could be a Tony Stewart scenario here.
I could see that as much. Of course, we're talking about 2 drivers that Logan couldn't hate anymore, but how about some things that Logan likes? Let's review some races from last week. Gateway in the Truck Series, Sheldon Creed, the protege of Robbie Gordon, taking that win over at Gateway, or as Logan might call it, Worldwide Racing Technology Racetrack Super Speedway, blah, 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 blah. Sheldon Creed with another win, boys.
Look, he's which one, Lawler? Which one?
Take it.
All right. Look, he's got that proverbial monkey off the back, and you know how that is when we talk about it at every level of the sport. Once you get that first win, and he did in that rain shortened race at Kentucky, it just takes the pressure off, and suddenly he's a contender every single week. Good for Sheldon Creed. I picked Chevrolet in last week's pit road picks, so I like it. I like it a lot.
Lawler.
I definitely have to agree with Mr. Loganity, unfortunately. Once that monkey comes off your back and you're locked in, you're just going to simply run carefree. So I look forward to seeing more stuff out of him the rest of this year for sure.
I could see even more and more. Of course, he did win the Super Trucks Championship with Robbie Gordon, and that's not something he's unused to, driving a heavy truck. I'm curious if he finds the success. Does he pull a Matt Crafton and just stay in trucks, or do you think he works his way up? There's not a lot of rides. Teams are shutting down.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of teams shutting down here in the near future, and that's all due to the fallout of this COVID-19. I don't see a lot of teams opening back up afterwards. It's just not a smart financial decision at this point. So I don't see a bunch of rides opening up. Now, that being said, there's always room for rookies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. As the veterans go away, you get the rookies. I mean, that's just how it works. But so what if you're in the Truck Series for 4 years and the Xfinity Series for 2 years before you make it into the Cup? Sure. That's what those series are there for. Those are the quote-unquote developmental leagues.
Of course, you're working your way up to do one of two things: win a Daytona 500 or a Cup championship. And this past weekend, we got to get a little bit of a taste of Daytona Speedway. The Xfinity Series and the Cup Series ran there. Of course, that Xfinity program from Colleague Racing was running first, second, third. AJ Allmendinger being taken out by his teammate.
Yep.
They've got such great speed. Justin Haley gets a second win at Daytona. Of course, he won the 4th of July race in the Cup Series last year. What do we see out of that Colleague group? Are they going to keep dominating the plate tracks?
Yeah, I definitely think it will. They will. You've seen the speed out of them, but wasn't it the road course this week?
No, that was already. That's came and went.
That was 3 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah, you're gonna. Here's the thing about these restrictor plate, or what are they, tapered spacer tracks now? Anybody can win them. Anybody, as long as you don't get caught in the big one, you have a great chance of winning. I mean, look at Trevor Bayne, who's coming back to the Truck Series this weekend. He won for the Wood Brothers when the Wood Brothers weren't that great, I should say. Now they're a very good team, and they can win in just about any weekend if they want to. But when you're talking about a tapered spacer track, as long as you avoid the wreck, you can win the race.
Logan, what do you think when you see this team dominating the way that Hendrick or DEI has at these enormous racetracks? You see Colleague Racing. If you have a Colleague Chevy, you're going to be up front at Daytona. Even AJ Allmendinger, who's running part-time, a road course guy, leading all these laps. What does that mean for a casual fan or somebody who doesn't know all the drivers? When you just see this dominance, is it enticing? Is it, drag?
I think it's a good thing for the Xfinity Series. We have seen Briscoe and Cindric just run this thing, run roughshod over it. Rightfully so. It's a nice change of pace. There are certain teams that just figure out, the super speedway is better than others. We've seen guys like Logano in the Cup Series figured out. Of course, the Intimidator, and of course, Dell Jr. Guys just understand how those things work. There is a method to the proverbial madness. Your guy, Michael Waltrip, figured it out. It can even go down to our fantasy league. As much as it is luck, there is some skill involved, and you either kind of have it or you don't. And if you look at you in our fantasy league, you tend to do well, if not win, almost every single plate track we do in our fantasy league. There is a method to the madness. Certain teams just figured out, and Kellogg Racing is it. And it's unfortunate to see Allmendinger get caught up with the teammate. But I guess records are checkers, and if your team's taking the checker, Kellogg Racing goes, I can fix that. I got the purse from the W.
Absolutely. Of course, then you had the Daytona Cup race, and let's pull up a clip from last week's show, shall we?
No.
Let's take a look here.
No.
Over to our next segment today, we have this question here on the monitor, and this came from Tom Willoughby, a.k.a. the Setup Man. He asked this week's question of the week: will William Byron make NASCAR playoffs? And check out these 4 answers. It's not just yes or no. He says, A, not a chance. 7-time Jimmy Johnson's not going to be denied his final time and will find a way in. B, absolutely. He will race his way in with a strong finish at Daytona. C, he won't race that well, but he'll benefit from some Chad Knaus magic and pit strategy will get him in. Or D, no way, the big armbar X. He'll get caught up in the big one and we'll watch the end of the race on TV with the rest of us. What are your thoughts on that? That's a great question.
Chad Knaus has been known to sprinkle some magic pixie dust on them Goodyear Eagles, okay? I don't know what he does, but he sprinkles that magic pixie dust, and he's done wonders. He's done wonders. But I'm going to say with him being such a rookie, I think he's going to get caught up, man. I don't think Jimmy Johnson's going to have anything to do with it. The amount of Chad Knaus magic this kid needs it's going to be a lot. But I mean, he's got the right guy on the box for sure. So, you know what? Scratch that. I am taking the X away and I'm turning an X into. Hold on. How do I do this? C
YMCA.
C for Chad Knaus.
You're going with C. Let's throw Peggy Lohr back up on the board. What are your thoughts on the question of the week?
I think A.
She says A, not a chance. Old 7-time coming in. Dan Foster saying D. He says no way. That leaves only AJ. Let me tell you something about something. William
You
Byron.
going at the end of the YMCA?
I'm going to give you the W for William Byron. Also that W for winning. He's going to win at Daytona and lock himself in the easy way.
So you're going to turn that.
So we called it right, y'all. We called it right. AJ Appeal saying that William Byron would go all the way, and he won. Logan Morris, Tyler Lawler. What are your thoughts on that? It's a big prediction. It was bold, and I was right.
Well, Salt Bay got with our boy Chad and sprinkled a little bit of extra pixie dust on the Goodyear Eagles, and he got the W. I watched absolutely 0 seconds of that race. We were busy doing what did Turner say? We were tire changers.
Yeah,
well, we were change a tire.
Yeah.
I was spotter and crew chief, and you were sound engineer. But nonetheless, pixie dust, man. Chad Knaus is pixie dust.
I toot my own horn plenty. Let's change topics.
Yes,
but stick with Chad. This is something that NASCAR and their major media partners have not promoted. Friends and family, since 2004, NASCAR has had a version of the playoffs. This is a fact, okay? Chad Knaus has been in the playoffs every single year. He has never missed it. There is no other crew chief or driver who can say that. And I don't think that that's a, small ESPN type fact. That is an amazing accomplishment. And one that will not be defeated for many years. We're talking, 16, 17 straight years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a resume booster. Not that he needs a resume booster. That guy right there can walk into just about any shop and be like, hey, I'm Chad Knaus. I'm actually going to crew chief that guy this year. They're like, okay, no problem. Here you go.
Logan, what are your thoughts when you see Chad Knaus he's one of your Hendrick boys. He's made it every single year he was Jimmy Johnson, and now every year he's been with old William Byron.
I don't think it's a stretch to say that Chad Knaus is NASCAR's Bill Belichick. There's just something he knows better than everybody else. Not to say that every other crew chief isn't great. They are. He just seems to be a step ahead. And he could become the second time. It wouldn't surprise me if he's only the second 8-time Cup winner as far as crew chiefs go, because he's just that good. Because, yes, absolutely, if William Byron is the proverbial quarterback, if you want to go that route and stick with this metaphor, he is. You need a great head coach to get the job done as well, and you can't ask for one better than Chad Knaus. There is not a single driver that would not benefit from his addition up on top of the box. I don't care if it's Denny Hamlin. I don't care if it's Kevin Harvick. You would be that much better if you had Chad Knaus. His greatness can't be overstated, and you have to really marvel at it. That's a great stat, AJ. I had no idea of that, but I'm certainly not surprised.
Yeah, I think it's something that we should definitely continue to recognize. This young man's going to be one of very few crew chiefs in the Hall of Fame, and to do it with both this young driver and Jimmy Johnson, to have wins at major tracks and kind of restart his career with that win at Daytona, it's a big deal. It is time now for one of our favorite segments, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for Pit Road Picks. And we will welcome back Peggy Lohr to the studio. Of course, Peggy Lohr is our show writer and many, many, many other hats. Peggy, what do we got for us? I hear a score update, perhaps. We've got some great questions. What do you got?
Score update.
So the score update. Logan won last week. He got a perfect 5 out of 5.
Still puts you in last place.
AJ is still the point leader. He has 32 points. Logan moved up to second. He has 26 points, and Tyler's in third with 24 points.
Cheaters. You all are cheaters. This is my game. You all are cheaters.
So the first question this week. Last year, Eric Jones won Darlington. And the 2 races in May, he finished top 10. Will he get a top 10 this Sunday?
Logan.
Thinking on it, yes, absolutely he will. He tends to show up in the big ones, and no matter what his playoff status is, the Southern 500 is a big one. I got a yes.
Yeah, I'm going to say he will as well. Let's look back to last fall's race when they had the race almost 2 a.m. They got out. Him and his team worked through it. I know it's a contract year and some weird things, but they still got a lot of Joe Gibbs horsepower. I say yes.
I as well agree yes, but I'm going no because I have to win this. So no, he's not.
Okay. Question number 2. Will Sheldon Creed go back-to-back?
I'm gonna go with yes. He is currently riding the hot streak. Again, we talked about that proverbial monkey off the back. I don't see any reason he can't. His talent is finally showing up to fruition because people don't understand what a mental block and mental pressure it can be to finally get that first win by hook or by crook. And we're going to see the same thing, I believe, with Byron in the Cup Series. I say yes for Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed will absolutely not go back-to-back. There's too many other great drivers in the field. I can think of 2 off the top of my head, but that's neither here nor there because the answer is no.
Yeah, I'm going to say Lawler's definitely right on that one. To say that Sheldon Creed, great young man, very talented, but his numbers aren't quite well enough to say he's going back-to-back, I say no.
All right. Question number 3. Chase Elliott is on the pole this week.
Yeah, he is.
Will he lead the most laps?
No. I say no because you guys are going to say yes. I have to win this.
Look, no question about it. I believe that he will. He came a cat hair within winning this race. Not the Southern 500, but at Darlington, had that Donnybrook with Kyle Busch not taking place. Who knows what may have happened? So I'm going to say yes. He's on the front row, and he tends to get hot at the right time. He's well known for that. I believe in him. I think he gets it done. Leads the most laps this week.
I'm going to say no. The thing about leading the most laps right now is that you got to lead them at the second half of the stage. You look at Chase Elliott's performance since he started his Cup career. If he starts pole, he's hot up front, and he always struggles second half. He does not play like the Ohio State Buckeyes. I say no.
OH.
All right, question number 4. The active full-time Xfinity drivers, only Chase Briscoe has won Darlington. Will someone else win this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to say that the regular guys, the powerhouse, whatever you call them, they've got their great dominance, but Darlington operates different. Think about the amazing finish we talk about every year between Craven and Busch. Those two young men at the time were not the guys that you expected. You know who ran third that day? Dave Blaney. I know that was a Cup race 20 years ago, but that's the type of race Darlington presents. I say no.
Go to Logan.
I will also say no. Like
yes.
Mr. Peel said, hold on, don't interrupt me. Like Mr. Peel said, I do believe that Darlington's just different. You literally and figuratively have to earn your stripe. Somebody not named Chase Briscoe gets it done for the Xfinity Series this week.
Want to say hey to Zach Bell. Thanks for tuning in. Lawler, what you got on that?
He's gonna earn his stripe right across the checkered flag line, right across there. Yes, he is.
All
And
right.
that's
God, I am digging myself into a deeper hole here.
Thank you, Peggy. We'll see you in a little bit. What a great couple of questions there. I'm telling you, it's going to be real competitive. Some of those questions, they make your brain just, leak motor oil because you get so confused and competitive with one another. I always love this bit.
Do you need me to pick some up for you?
Yeah, if you could go over to advance for me, I'm going to need you. Well, hell, I'll send you a list during the next commercial.
Okay, 5W30, we do it full synthetic.
Speaking of which, let's take our first break. It's a 15-second break. Logan Morris, you're on. Go ahead, let us know what's on Courtney Force's mind.
Courtney Forces with you 15 fast seconds. Look, at the end of the day, she just wants some ice cream or some pudding or what is that, frozen yogurt? That's what it's all about. Look, all I know is she eats yogurt fast and she goes fast. And I'll tell you what's fast, Vance Auto Parts.
Advance Auto Parts, ready in advance. Lawler, remind me which location you're sitting at.
256 in Pickerington.
Now, they have a great deal. If you check out your local Advance, you can get a Die-Hard battery. They are on sale nationwide. Check them out, Advance Auto Parts. It's time for, everybody, this is my favorite segment. Sing it with me. NASCAR news. NASCAR news. We're going to start with kind of a somber story out of Columbus, Ohio. Germain Racing saying that they're considering selling. Of course, they run out of the Welcome, North Carolina shop, but they are considering racing next year, or maybe they won't. It's a sale that might happen this year. Lawler, it's close to home for us, but for the whole sport, because, of course, that means another team may be gone next year.
It does, and our good friend Daniel Foster actually was asking about that. Thank you. Let's be honest. They're a struggling program. They're a top 20 team at best, running with the performance of the same performance that Austin Dillon has. It's his little brother too. I personally think Ty Dillon is a better driver than Austin Dillon. I like Ty Dillon a little more. Could be because Tyler. But anyway, it's sad to see a hometown name jump out. But it will be cool to see what happens from there. What happens with the charter? What happens with the team? Where do we go next with them?
Yeah, I'm excited to see that they stay, but I'm not sure that I believe that they will. Logan, I know that this year's been a rough one for the sports economy. Lawler mentioned at the start of the show that the COVID-19 virus, this is the way it affects NASCAR, is that NASCAR is a sport that really requires those fans.
Yeah.
Of course, Geico is their sponsor since 2007, and they're one of the 4 Cup sponsors. We call it the Cup Series, but it's brought to you by those 4 major companies. Why would Geico buy twice when they can just get their name on every race?
Also, Thomas just brought up something you and I talked about earlier. Jermaine did tell his employees that, if you want to go find a job somewhere else, no skin off my back. I get it.
Logan, what are your thoughts when you see a big or a small team? You know, we lived through this with Michael Waltrip Racing. They were probably the last major team to shut down. Now we're seeing lots of smaller ones to shut down.
What about Furniture Row?
Well, first of all, I hope it's not true. I hope that they don't sell. I hope that they do remain in the sport because that's better for the sport overall, economic wise. Anyone that feels otherwise, you just don't know what you're talking about. So first and foremost, we hope that they do stay. If they don't stay, there is this layer of, for lack of a better term, not to make light of anyone shutting down, but kind of excitement to see what would happen with Ty Dillon. You know, would he find us? Would they make some room for him at RCR somehow or another? That is a grandson, of course, of Richard Childress. And, of course, Ty Dillon has always been very honest and not wanting to rest on his family connections or laurels or anything of that nature. So, again, I hope it's not true. But if it is, what another layer of excitement to add to silly season. There's just so many guys that are up in the air, but so little spots. And unfortunately, I think Lawler's right. You may see this more and more over the next few years because this has set so many of the smaller teams back. It set everyone back, but the smaller teams can't afford and play that catch-up ball. So those smaller teams could be in trouble. Your Germain Racing, your Gaunt Brothers Racing, maybe your Richard Petty Motorsports. It could hurt them a lot. Those teams really are going to have to flounder to figure it out and make a profit. Not to mention, you have the next gen car coming up in 2022. It's a perfect storm of crappiness if you're a small team.
Yep. Yeah. Small teams like NBM, they're definitely going to feel the effect from this. So, you know, our boy Timmy Hill, he's going to feel the effect of this. You know, and if you look back at other programs that shut down, like Furniture Row, they won a championship and then closed their doors. I mean, it's things like that really make you worry. I mean, look at Dodge. Dodge was in the league for a while, you know what I mean? And then just kind of won a championship, closed their doors. So this is scary. This really is. But you know, we'll see what this next gen car does for NASCAR, and you know, we'll go from there.
I still think what I said last season. I do believe that under the current political and economic climate, NASCAR should decrease the field size again. As much as it hated it when it dropped from 43 to 40, we're only seeing like 37 cars a week anyway. If they drop it down to 32, make people earn their way in, we could see some more competitive speeds with that new car. I think that, unfortunately, I wanted NASCAR to make that choice and make teams step up their game. I didn't expect it to work out that maybe we have 32 teams because we can't fill a field of 40, and that's definitely unfortunate. More of the silly season, William Byron was one of the biggest free agents. We expected him to stay at Hendrick, but then the Liberty University scandal happened, and we didn't know. He wins at Daytona, and he signs through 2022. This is a major accomplishment for that team. They now have every driver on a long-term deal, sans that 48 driver. William to stay at Hendrick.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
There's no question there. Logan, let me know what you think about this topic.
All right, I'll catch up a little bit. He's a father. Sleep's hard to come by. Yeah, I'm not surprised by this. We saw the faith that Hendrick had in Byron by signing him when he was so young. And yes, the Liberty University scandal does play a factor, but still the president of that university is his father. And so that plays a whole different, you know, that no matter what, scandal, no scandal, it's nice to know somebody even when you're deep in scandal.
Yeah.
And so sponsorship is sponsorship no matter who it is. That's the name of the game in this sport. Doesn't matter. Scandal, no scandal. We see Corey LaJoie and Go Fast Racing with the Trump pack. It doesn't matter. So I'm not surprised by this at all because Rick Hendrick believes so heavily in one Willie B, William Byron. And he proved that the day he signed him, and it continues today. There was no way he was letting him go.
Yeah, so 38 full-time teams in 2020. That's still a lot lower than we thought. Lawler, what do you think about Byron with that new deal?
I think that when Hendrick signs somebody, he signs them for the rest of their career. He's not the kind of owner that's going to want to jump around through hoops and, you know, have 4 or 5 people race that car for the next 20 years. He wants to take a driver and have ownership of that car. I mean, look at what he did with Jeff Gordon. You know, Jeff Gordon eventually transitioned into owning Jimmy Johnson's car. You know, it's stuff like that Hendrick does that promotes longevity in his stables.
I'd say the only exception was when he hired this guy, old Front Row Joe. He pretty much just threw him away. He said, you know what, Joe, we don't need you. You can go over to the side teams. But you're definitely right there. Something else we've got here in the news, Steve Phelps saying new venues in addition to Nashville in 2021. JSki.com reporting that NASCAR has signed agreements with new tracks other than Nashville. Nobody really knows what tracks. More tracks to NASCAR, that's got to be good for the climate, right?
Yeah, but what's that going to do for all these tracks that have 2 weekends? You know what I mean? Everybody pretty much has 2 weekends. So is that going to eliminate, say, the Charlotte Roval or the Daytona? If Daytona decided to do the infield again, would that eliminate that? Would that eliminate, more? I don't know. I guess where I'm going with this, but is that going to eliminate more of a 2-race week or 2-race schedule for tracks?
So it could, but what's nice for NASCAR's sake, the only family-owned racetrack is Pocono, and so maybe they would lose a spot. We as fans hope not, because they're family-owned, they're private. The only other private company really is the company that owns Dover, and they own Nashville, so they get the benefit of adding Nashville, even if they lose a Dover date. And then the rest are owned by either the NASCAR ISC parent company or the Smith family that owns Speedway Corporation. So for the most part, as long as Pocono keeps their date, I think economically nobody hurts that way.
I got you.
Logan, new tracks. Of course, your favorite thing, I'm not even going to hide it, I think, is that means more tracks for you to learn on the video game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for that. Look, here's my thing is I want to cut down on some of these 1.5 miles. It seems like every week we're going to 1.5 miles, 1.5 miles. And nothing against those tracks. They can produce some great racing, but it would just be great to see a little bit more variety in the types of tracks, because then maybe you see different winners. That's one of the reasons we get all excited about super speedway racing is you have that who could win, anybody. Because 1.5 miles just seem to be ran by a particular driver per year. Remember when Martin Truex was absolutely owning 1.5 miles. So I hope to see less of that. And I think more tracks wanting to buy into NASCAR is good for the economy of the sport. And you need that right now during COVID more than ever. I'm excited and curious to see what happens. As far as like Daytona and the Roval, I don't think you're going to get rid of those, because those are a hit. They've drawn good ratings. Daytona's got the history. The Roval is this new thing that everybody kind of enjoys. It's a wild card. I don't think that's going anywhere.
I see this comment here from Dan, ISC SMI merge. They definitely have a really strong handshake deal. The last I heard, the shareholders hadn't voted on it. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong on next week's show. But it's definitely possible that sale has finally went through. Nonetheless, NASCAR is not hurting if they cut one of their dates. Maybe the local economies are. How would you like to be in the middle of, Joliet, Chicago, Illinois, and then you lose this major sporting event?
So Thomas Bertram said it. He took the words right out of my mouth. We need to just get rid of half of these cookie cutter things. I like the 1.5 miles, don't get me wrong, but like you said, it's the same driver winning it. Race after race after race, and it's just it's old. I like to see all these different tracks, all these different sizes, all these weird, like the tricky triangle. Daytona has that weird configuration. It's not just an oval, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, where will the sport be in 5 years? We'll find out. You'll hear it from Race Appeal Radio.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the plug on our own program. I don't think we can get any more listeners that way.
Shoot. Shop at advance.
We have major news. I'm going to go right back to you, Lawler. Eric Almirola signed an extension with SHR.
Yeah, so what's good about that is he carries his own sponsors. I mean, if you really think about it, he's got the Go Bowling. He's had that for a while. Smithfield, I think he said he's had that for 10 years now. I'll correct myself on next week's episode if I'm wrong. So it makes it easy for him to re-up his contract with Stewart-Haas, because he walks in and slaps the check down from Smithfield and Go Bowling and says, hey, I need an extension. So it's exciting. I think that teams like the Germain Racing need a driver like that. If Almirola could go to that car, that would be, the best thing for the team. But nonetheless, I am excited to have that extension. personally, I think we need to just kind of clean house and get rid of everybody but Harvick. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. He's had a lot of top 10s this year. He won a race last year, so maybe we can carry momentum into the playoffs and maybe he can make it to the final round.
Breaking news here at the bottom. It says Scott Gregson, Noah Gregson's father, sentenced 8 to 20 years in Las Vegas jail. Of course, he was the subject of a DUI crash that was fatal last spring. Let's not take away from the nature of something so serious as a DUI. Noah Gregson, an up-and-coming driver in this political world. Our thoughts go with the family, but we also think forward. Does this affect Noah Gregson's career in any way?
Well, just 2 weeks ago, we thought he was taking the 48 car, and now his dad may die in jail. I mean, it's very sad to say that. You don't ever want to see that happen to anybody. So, I mean, it can go one of two ways. He can shrug it off and say, I need to focus on my career, or he can, he can really feel it and his performance would show.
Logan, what do you think? You got this major superstar in the making, and of course somebody who's really been a part of his sponsorship over the years. Now his father involved in this, he's convicted. He's been found guilty.
I think it's a bad look for Gregson, and more importantly, I think it could affect his performance on the track. I mean, mentally, that's something to deal with. I mean, you get the track all weekend. You're not going to think about it in the car, but that's one of those subconscious things all weekend. That's kind of hanging over you, and you wonder if people in the garage are giving you some eyeballs, like your father, ended up getting drunk and killing a guy, and more importantly, whether they are or not, no matter what his father did, that's still your father. And the fact that you may not see him in regular civilian world for a long time coming is hard to deal with. And that's hard to fathom. No matter what he did, that's still your dad. So you're going to be like, damn, I can't see my dad for 20 years. That's pretty incredible. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family, number one, that was victimized by this. But my thoughts and prayers also go out to Noah, because he is not responsible for his father's actions. I hope it doesn't hurt him too much sponsorship wise. Noah is his own man, as we all are. I know the old sins of the father, but come on, once we get to adulthood, let's get past that.
It's hard to say that what his father isn't going to affect him, because sponsorship wise, I personally think that his dad had a lot to do with it. But I guess we'll find out coming up. We do have some comments here from Daniel Foster saying Larson to the 32, LaJoie to the 48. And looks like Thomas also says that Zippy expects everyone back. And with Gregson re-upping with JRM, does that add fuel to the Larson to HMS theory? Well, I want to tell you right now, Larson will not go to HMS. And he also says that Briscoe stays with the 32. I don't see Larson ever going to Hendrick Motorsports. That's just not Hendrick isn't into that kind of stuff. He's got too much baggage. Hendrick's not a baggage company.
Yeah, they're definitely a company that prefers kind of a clean cut persona, if you will. Yeah, they don't want a whole lot of we saw Kyle Busch, how that didn't work out for better or worse, and so that definitely plays a factor. No, I don't see Larson going to the 48. Now, as much as we disagreed last week, Lawler, on whether Larson should be back at Stewart-Haas, I find it to be a little bit too comfortable for Stewart-Haas, the fact that the rumor is they're not going to make any changes. The reality is that Stewart-Haas has become the Harvick and Friends show. And again, we can disagree on Larson, no doubt, but I cannot believe there's not more pressure on Boyer, and I can't believe there's not a bigger push to get Briscoe in a much better ride. And I know the 32, no disrespect to them, but Go Fast Racing is still Go Fast Racing, even with Alliance/satellite equipment. I'm surprised that there's not a bigger push to get new blood inside Stewart-Haas, because without Kevin Harvick, Stewart-Haas would be a run-of-the-mill team right now as it stands.
Right. So a few years ago when Stewart-Haas was looking for drivers, they came out and said they want age. So they were looking for drivers that had, some age behind them. They didn't want a rookie. They didn't want someone that they're going to have to invest a lot of time and money into it. But right now is the opportunity to do that. You have drivers like Harvick. You have drivers like, well, not Almirola, but we could say like Boyer, who have the ability to train Cole Cluster and show him the way. But at the same point, I think that did we forget about? Yeah, no one cares. No one cares.
I haven't forgotten about it, but we all kind of consider it just to be this fluke circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can take this a few different ways. It's definitely something. This silly season is going to be a wild one, and we didn't even talk tonight about Darrell Wallace, but he's still a piece of the puzzle. I know most of us, myself included, expect him in that 43, but until he signs, we don't know. Let's take our next 15-second break. Logan Morris, take it away. Let us know what's on Courtney Force's mind. When we come back, it'll be our good friend, the pit setup man, the setup man, and he's going to show you a few laps around Darlington. Also, by the way, the setup man is racing right now. He is racing live, and he is currently running 19th out of 22nd. That guy's running a little rougher than we expected. Logan, take us over to break, will you?
All right, absolutely. Courtney here with your 15-second fast fact. I don't know any of those facts. I don't really care. I just want frozen yogurt, and I like speed. He gets me from a frozen yogurt fast. You know what else is fast? Advanced Auto Parts. Get a battery. Advanced Auto Parts today. Think ahead. Think advance.
All right, here we are at Darlington, the track too tough to tame. It is bumpy. It is narrow. It is tough to get your hands around. I will not have a setup for this on my YouTube channel because I am awful here. I think they should record my laps using a sundial instead of a stopwatch. I am absolutely dreadful here, but I am going to try to lay down a decent lap here and not embarrass myself too much. Last time I raced here, I thought I was going to get arrested for assault because I hit the wall so often. Oh, there is a bump coming out of two. Do not hit that. You will get sideways in a hurry, just like I did. Darlington is egg-shaped, and 3 and 4 would be like the narrow or pointy end of the egg, and 1 and 2 would be the bigger or rounder end of the egg. So here we go. Let's see if I can get a decent lap here. Going into the rounder end, you barely lift over a little dip there that's at the entrance to 1 and 2. Then you are hard back on the throttle and ride the hot throttle all the way around to the floor. Now you're coming up into the pointy end of the egg. You tap the brakes a little bit to get the car to slow down. You're out of the throttle a ridiculously long time as you go around the tighter end of the track there. And then you get back into the throttle and get a 29.267, which is a decent lap for me, but not a decent lap overall.
You're going the wrong way, dude.
Showing Darlington would be complete without earning your Darlington.
How about this? Just for Logan Morris, we're going to earn 2 stripes. Check this out.
Rub against the outside wall because at Darlington, you got to run up high to run fast. So let's get a Darlington stripe before we end this. There we go. Little Darlington stripe to end the video. Thank you guys for letting me be on here. Not my best track.
Much appreciated, guys. Much appreciated. Oh, I cannot wait for this weekend. You guys both know, and you hear me talk all the time about how much I love this race, this track this weekend. Couldn't be more excited.
Absolutely. I think that, first of all, the setup man, your videos are great. We love having you. Yes. Can we sign him to a lifetime deal?
Yeah, let me get my pen. Where's the...
There you go. Well, my pen's green, so it kind of blends in with the green screen.
Here, write it on my drink.
Your shot in rehearsal, his cup always blends in with his green screen. Not tonight. That's all right.
There it is.
There we go. Yeah, those are cool. Of course, Logan, we talked about that Darlington stripe. Well, who do you think's going to earn the most of those? Usually be our boy Larson, and he's out mostly, for this year, maybe longer. What do you think this week heading into Darlington? Who's going to really ride that high line?
riding the high line, I believe, is going to be one Kyle Busch. He's going to be he's desperate for a win. He's going to be looking for all the speed he can, and as the setup man said, to run fast at Darlington, you better get up top, son. You need to be just a hair from the wall. I think Kyle Busch is going to earn a few.
Yeah, Kyle Busch for sure. He's going to be the one to earn the most stripes. He's hunting for that elusive win this year, so we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely, I think Kyle Busch certainly. You got to be desperate because no matter what, you know how much winning means to these guys. Lawler, look at Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson wanted to make the playoffs, no doubt, but he has made clear that if he had to trade make the playoffs for getting one last win, he would do it in a heartbeat.
Yep.
And so now he's in that case, so he's going to be looking. He's another desperate guy you could see. And boy, wouldn't it be cool to see that scheme in victory lane somehow or another?
Oh yeah,
seven times. Intimidator.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see that. It's just going to be exciting to see that car on the track. I mean, how long has it been since you've seen that STP on the track or the Intimidator's Goodwrench car on the track? Let alone having Jimmy Johnson pilot those cars. So it's going to be cool to see drive seven times.
If that car somehow wins this weekend, we got to get it checked for mythical powers or something. He was helped along by two of the greats. So I'm looking forward to seeing him run that this weekend. I think he'll be trying his butt off and maybe get a few stripes himself, because how big would it be for his potential final win to be one of the crown jewels of our sport? That would be incredible.
Let's bring in our buddy Dan Foster. All right, we're going to change gears here. And he's got another what year was it for us. Remember what year was it from 2 episodes ago? Well, they're not over. This is a segment I really have come to learn and love. And let's see what he's got to say for what year was it?
What year was it? Johnny Carson retires from late night TV.
Now, wait a minute. Logan Morris, did you play the wrong year?
No, sir. No.
I can't blame that on you. I guess not. How about we pull up a different one? Does that sound like a better idea?
Yeah.
So first of all, the answer was 1992 to the previous one. Let's try this again. What year was it? Dan Foster.
All right. No audio.
Great sound. Tell you.
All right.
Where was it? FedEx officially begins operations. CBS sells the New York Yankees to George Steinbrenner and crew. Secretariat wins the Triple Crown. And The Last American Hero, a film based on Junior Johnson, hits theaters. What year was it?
We're going to have him say it
FedEx
again.
officially begins operations. CBS sells the New York Yankees to George Steinbrenner and crew. Secretariat wins the Triple Crown. And The Last American Hero, a film based on Junior Johnson, hits the.
Any ideas, gentlemen?
I'm going to guess 1971.
See, I was thinking 79.
Dan,
no one asked you.
Wow, I don't know it. He doesn't give answers with these. Peggy Lohr, we're going to bring her back on. She says she knows. What do you got, Peggy?
I'm going to agree with Logan, and I'm going to say 71.
1971.
All right, we're going to need Dan. What's the real answer? It's 79, isn't it?
I didn't give my answer. I'm going to say 81, but I think you guys are pretty confident, so I'm probably a little bit off.
All right.
And the answer is
73.
73. Wow, these are amazing. These are a real challenge. I thought that once he said Johnny Carson, I was going to get them all right. So far, I'm 1 for 2. Wow, that's rough. That's rough. Let's move. Let's shift some gears. Dan Foster, thank you very much for those kind words. Peggy Lohr, we're going to bring you back at the end of the Pit Road Picks. You were damn close, and I'll give you credit on that one. Maybe you've been talking to Dan. I don't know. We'll have to get to the bottom of that. Moving forward to our predictions, Tyler Lawler, we have Darlington. We keep talking about it. Who is your Cup winner for this week?
I don't know what his throwback scheme is. I don't think I've seen his throwback scheme yet. But the number 18 Mars car is going to win it.
So he's running an Elliott Sadler tribute throwback, and of course he's going to do well. I know you said that earlier in the show. What about you, Logan? Who you got?
I'm going to go with Chase Elliott. I think there'll be a ring in the siren. He's on the pole. I think he's due to get hot, and he almost wanted Darlington 2 with that issue with Busch. I'll take Chase.
I'm going to go Brad Keselowski, running that throwback from his discount tire days when he was in the Xfinity Championship battle back in 2010. Team Penske, Ford, Brad Keselowski. Mark my words.
I'm changing it. I'm going to go with the number 22. I really like his throwback.
Well, you're just saying that because it matches Turner's car.
Well, I mean, But no, it is going to be the 18 car.
We do. This is the worst part is I remember Denny unveiling a scheme this week.
Yes.
And
I said to myself, it's got to be that scheme Denny's running. It's got to be the same year. What year was that?
Yep, I should know this. For a long time, I didn't think that was going to matter, and here I am.
That truly was the best time to play that one. Just saying.
What do you say? You want to do one more of those?
One more.
One more of those? How about that?
Yeah,
Dan Foster.
Let's watch it.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Dan Foster wants to know what year was it, and let's put him on the board here. Logan Morris, are you listening, young man?
I am.
What year was it? The final episode of MASH aired. The New York Islanders defeated the Edmonton Oilers for the Stanley Cup. Hooters opened its first restaurant here in the state of Florida. And Bill Elliott wins his first Cup Series race.
All right, let's listen one more time.
What year was it? The final episode of MASH aired. The New York Islanders defeated the Edmonton Oilers for the Stanley Cup. Hooters opened its first restaurant here in the state of Florida. And Bill Elliott wins his first Cup Series race.
Gentlemen, those are some challenging ones. I've got Peggy Lohr again.
I'm going to guess 1983.
Really?
You say 1983, Logan?
Mm-hmm.
Peggy, with your hand up in our producer's box, what you got?
He took my answer.
So you can share this answer.
Well, it's 83.
1983. Here's what makes me wonder, okay? That MASH, Lawler, what are you thinking?
84. I don't know. I have no clue.
You don't know? Man, I'm telling you.
Turner says 83. I'm going with 83.
Kyle TNT Turner saying 83. You three are all saying 83. Well, hell, I guess.
What's the answer, Dan? Oh, now we need to wait for the delay.
Dan, do we have you?
Nope, we don't have him. You'll
That's
find
all
out
right.
next week.
Yeah, I guess so. Moving on to
It's 83.
1983.
Well, I'll tell you how I knew that, because on the back of Chase's Hooters sponsor on NASCAR Heat 4, it says politically incorrect since 1983.
I knew it because of MASH.
Because of MASH.
I knew it because Kyle Turner knew it.
Kyle Turner, superstar. Dan Foster, thank you so much for the what year was it. I believe we have one more. We're going to have to ask for a new batch of those pretty soon. Those are fun. Those are good. Moving forward, it's time for our playoff bracket as we have some orchestral MASH music. That's nice. It's time for our pit brackets. Ladies, gentlemen, we're going to take 4 drivers and announce here on this show who's getting eliminated from the playoffs. And we're going to start with myself. I'll go first here. So here's the thing. Ryan Blaney is gone. And I know that, you might not see it, but right behind me, we've got all this telemetry and data telling us that Ryan Blaney is hot all season, had a great top 5 streak. I'm sorry, man. Ryan Blaney is one of the first 4 out. Second, MTJ. Here's why Martin Truex is out. He will not win a race during the next 3, and I don't think he'll win a race during the playoffs. Number three, Alex Bowman, the showman. I've said for a long time, I think he may be the most talented Chevy driver in the field. But just having talent isn't always enough. Kyle Busch is the most talented Toyota. Alex Bowman, the showman, is out. And number 4, Lawler, I'm going to break your heart. Clint Boyer in the number 14 car, out.
What are you doing to me?
Who do you have out this week?
Well, I'm going. I got half of your drivers, dude.
Who you got?
Bowman, he's gone. Matty D, sorry, dude. Love you. You're gone. Cole Cluster, see ya. You're gone. So, the 14, see you, buddy. Get on out of here.
Peggy Lohr.
Definitely Cole Custer.
Cluster. Cold
Matty
mustard.
D. Matty D. I'm going to say Kyle Busch. And probably Boyer.
Logan Morris.
He literally stole all of mine.
Now you want, to my understanding, you want my 4 that I believe will be out at the end of the round of 16 here in a few weeks, correct?
That's
correct.
correct.
That's
Okay.
what the 3 of us just did.
I'm just double checking. I got Boyer out. I got Boyer out. I
Donski,
got Truex out.
out.
I got Kyle Busch out.
See ya.
And I got, unfortunately, I got Matty D out.
Matty D, 3 of the 4. First of all, I want to say hello, goodbye, thank you, good morning, and good night to all the friends listening on the RTF Sports Network. It's been swell, but Lawler, what is it?
The swelling's gone down.
The swelling's gone down. Friends that are watching or listening on the RTF networks, please switch over to our Facebook page now, and we will see you next time on Race Appeal Radio. For those of you who are currently watching on our video feeds, we're not going anywhere quite yet, but our show is winding down. Gentlemen, lady, it's time for wild predictions. I need everybody's championship pick. And one thing that will happen in 2021, our way too soon prediction. And we're going to start with Peggy.
Well, I've said it all year. Hamlin's going to win the whole thing.
Get out of here.
He would have won last year if he didn't have that little incident.
But he didn't win. Who won last year?
All right. And what about, do you have anything that comes to mind that is way too early to predict, but it just might happen in 2021?
I think Chase Elliott wins the whole thing next year.
Chase Elliott to win it all. Logan Morris.
No. Come to
Lawler
me.
over there saying, oh, I thought you might need some time. You like
Nope.
to marinate on these.
Nope. Got this one right now. Harvick, and by the end of next year, someone will sign. We'll just say Larson's going to sign a Cup ride.
Larson back to the Cup Series. Kevin Harvick is a champion per Lawler. Logan, you've had the time to marinate that we just mentioned.
I have. My winner of the championship is Chase Elliott. I believe wholeheartedly this is his year to do it. I believe at one point on the show, Lawler said the same thing. But,
I did. Absolutely. I will admit. Absolutely. I will admit.
But we'll see what happens there. And my other prediction is that Matt Kenseth will be back in the 42 in 2021.
And where'd you hear that from?
You.
Did you see Biffle is entertaining a full-time ride?
Yeah, absolutely. He wants a fast car, and that's going to take me to my wild prediction first. Greg Biffle will start one race or more in the number 62 Beard Motorsports vehicle next season. That is my way too early wild prediction. Back in 2018, we said he would come back for at least one race and win, and he won at Texas for KBM. That's my wild prediction, and it's weird that we're going back to Greggy Biffle. All right, my championship prediction presented by Die Hard Batteries and anybody that's willing to pay me.
No.
Rowdy Wild Thing Kyle Busch.
Oh, yeah.
For the third time, he will win the Cup title this year, and he will do it winless. He will be the first Cup champion to win a title with 0 wins. Logan's over there swearing with his arms.
What are you kidding me? No chance, Lance. I'm sorry. That's just, he's got to win. One of your predictions is going to be wrong. You've backed yourself into a corner. It's like playing two brackets.
He doesn't have to win. Did you not watch the Truck Series battle with Matt Crafton last year?
I did. That's more rare than an undercooked steak. That ain't happening.
Ryan Newman almost did it 4 years ago.
Yep.
It's not as rare as you think. You could go winless. You could go winless to the finals. Absolutely.
I almost got late in high school. It didn't happen.
Whoa. Rusty Wallace in the first year, or in his retirement year, almost. He got that final win. It's possible. But here's the thing. Of the men and women we just mentioned, Kyle Busch is the only person at Kyle Busch level. Ryan Newman's no Kyle Busch. Rusty Wallace, I'm sorry, no Kyle Busch. All right? These people are chasing a true icon. I'm sorry he goes winless this year, but he wins the title with 0 wins. Lawler, you changed rooms on me.
Dude, I'm home.
He's home. It's time for Closing Time, presented by Advance Auto Parts. And it is indeed time for a little bit of shrubs. From the Clayton Compound, Studio 1396, Columbus, Ohio, this has been Race Appeal Radio. We want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in. We have some final comments. Logan, you're making our buddy Kyle laugh out loud. Elliott wins the Cup. Darrell Wallace wins a Cup race in 2021 from Dan. We appreciate everybody who stayed with us. For people that watched us on RTF, people that have been with us from the beginning, this was a fun show. Thanks to Kyle Findley for our Invocation pre-race, and to the pit setup man. I always said pit setup. Why do you think I do that, y'all? To the setup man, thank you for those amazing videos. I love those segments. To our friends here in the studio with me, to my upper left, how do I do this? Lawler, what are your final words, man?
Just want to thank everybody with RTF and everyone that's watched and listened and commented and shared and all of that. Also want to thank Tiger Paw Racing for everything that they've done the past few weeks for the show. I also want to thank Barn Built Graphics for everything that they've done for us at Tiger Paw Racing. So, just have a good week. Have a good long holiday weekend. And I'll be working all weekend, but you guys enjoy.
Absolutely. To Logan Morris, your final words.
Well, it's throwback weekend, and I can't wait. I'm very excited for it. I want to just personally say thank you again, as always, to you, Mr. Peel, and you, Mr. Lawler, for having me on, and your friendship and your mentorship and just all those things. I'm so thankful for the show. Thank you both so much.
Boom! We did it again. We skipped our last pit road pick. Logan, we're going to give you a chance to redo your final thoughts. Peggy Lohr, get back on that screen and tell me what's going on with this final pick. That's on me, y'all.
All right, the last question, and you guys kind of already answered it.
Well, then why are you bringing it up and ruining Logan's awesome final whatchamabobber?
I think we have different definitions of awesome, but anyway.
What you got?
Will a non-playoff driver win Sunday?
Non-playoff driver. No way.
Logan?
As cool as it would be to see, and I honestly hope it happens, no, I can't see it happening. I think somebody in the playoffs certainly gets it done, no matter who it is.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Logan, finish those final thoughts you had going.
I have one more final thought. Visit your local short track, because without the local short track, you wouldn't have a local big track.
Couldn't agree more. Please go check out your local short track, and sometimes that's better racing than you see with the big boys. But I just want to say thank you both so much, Lawler, Appeal, and as always, Peyton, Lohr, for tolerating me and allowing me to be on this show and giving me your friendship and your mentorship. Can't wait to be back next week. It's throwback week, y'all. I'm excited.
And as I always say at the end of every episode, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, smile, be happy, and until then, take care. Sea amable consigo mismo. Sea amable con otros. Sonría, sea feliz. Hasta entonces, cuídese. Take care.
Is that dog food?
Tuned in. What do you say? We have our good friend, the setup man, and he is still racing. He's got that Watkins Glen event that he was entered in earlier. He is up to 17th spot out of 22 cars. Anybody still watching, enjoy this race. If not, take care. We really are signed out, but anybody who cares to watch, this is the setup man.
Still there. All clear.